Good afternoon, classmates and teacher. I am Valentina Saldiez and my classmate is Camila Gatica. Today we are going to talk about the part 5 of the CAE test, which is multiple choice questions.
To begin with, we are going to tell you what is this part about. Well, it is the fifth part of the CAE reading test, and it is consists of a long text, and then the student has to answer 6 questions. These questions are in order, and each question is worth 2 points. Well, and some of the abilities that this part of the test measures are the main idea, the purpose, and the attitude of the reader towards the text.
Well, some of the difficulties that this part of the test have is, first one, the bias of the reader's previous knowledge. This is that sometimes when students know too much about something, they believe that they can answer the questions without reading, without looking for the information inside the text. So they might make mistakes or choose the wrong answer. And the other one is that all the answers seem to be possible. This is because all the alternatives that the questions are inside the paragraph. For example, here, the purple part is here, and all these possible answers, as I mentioned before, are inside the text. That is why it is very important to read carefully the question and look for the specific information.
Well, now we're going to give you some advice for solving this kind of question. First of all, it is important to be constantly reading a lot in English, because this test is not about knowledge but about abilities. So if you practice your ability to read in English, you are likely to improve your scores in this part of the test. Well, then there are some common tricks that usually are present in this kind of text. For example, the first one is to see how the question is presented to the student. For example, in this example, it says, George Lucas irritated his fans by changing Star Wars. That is what is supposed to appear in the text. And then the question is, how did George Lucas feel? And the answer, one of the answers is irritated. In this case, we should know that this is not the correct answer because the text said that George Lucas irritated his fans, not that he was irritated. That is why it's important to keep attention to the way the question is presented. Secondly, it is important to look for keywords. For example, with this, the question says, what did he specialize in? And the text may talk about many topics such as arts, philosophy, literature, etc. But in some part of the text, it says what the person is specializing in. So that should be the answer. And the keyword here is specialized, because that is what we are looking for. And the third trick is words that are similar but not the same. For example, in this case, regarding this example, we can see that the word projected and foreseen are similar in meaning, but are not the same. They are related, but they don't mean the same. So it is important to know this difference of words in order to answer the test properly.
Here, some written tips. When you're given this part of the test, the first step you should follow is read the title of the entire text to see of what is coming next. Then looking for images that can give you hints, and then you go to the part of the questions and read only the question, not the alternatives. And then go back to the text and read the first paragraph, because regularly the first questions is in the first paragraph and so on. Sometimes the sixth question is about the overall paragraph, the overall text. And then we go back to the question and look for the keyword that my classmate was talking about, and then going back to the test, read the first paragraph again, and look for the information that seems to be familiar with the question. Here we have an example of a real exercise in the test. The text is about the history of color. Okay. I'm going to read the question. This is the question. What problems regarding color does the writer explain in the first paragraph? So we go back to the text, as we mentioned before, and read the first paragraph. This book examines how the ever-changing role of color in society has been reflected in manuscripts, stained glass, clothing, painting, and popular culture. Color is a natural phenomenon, of course, but it is also a complex cultural construct that resists generalization and indeed analysis itself. No doubt that is why serious works devoted to color are rare, and rarer still are those that aim to study in historical context. Many authors search for the universal of archetypal truth they imagine residing colors, but for the historians such truth do not exist. Colors is first and foremost a social phenomenon. There is no transcultural truth to color perception, despite what many books based on poorly crafted neurobiology, or even worse, on pseudo-esoteric pop psychology would have us believe. Such books unfortunately clutter the bibliography of the subject, and even do it harm. That is the first paragraph. Now we go back to the first question, and we're going to look for the keyword. What is the keyword in the question? The keyword is problem. We have to look for the problem that the author of this text want us to look for. Here we have the cultural construct. Colors is first and foremost a social phenomenon, and there is no transcultural truth in color perception. That is why we think that the answer that is correct is C. The problem is that color can have different associations in different parts of the world. Why? Because the first option says our view. This is something that could be unknown, because it's something that is an opinion, not a fact. The second one is an analysis. It might be also, but it is not a problem yet. And the last one, certain popular books. It is not all the books. It is not a problem in all the books. It's just certain popular books. That is why the alternative C, we think is incorrect, because it is a fact and it is a problem. Okay.
Well, that was our presentation. We hope it is useful for you when you have to take the CAE test. And thank you for
Thank
your
you very
attention.
much.